Hey everyone, and welcome to my tutorial on how to make a paper rocket ship. Making the rocket ship will be the trickiest origami model that I have taught you how to make so far, but I will go through each step and every fold in detail and try to simplify things as best I can. There are a lot of similar folds involved in making the paper balloon and also the origami crane that you will also see when making the paper rocket ship. So if you don't know how to already make the balloon and the crane, I highly recommend that you watch my tutorials on how to do those first before trying to make the rocket ship. Making the rocket ship requires that we have a square piece of paper. So if you're using a piece of printer paper, what you do is you take this corner and you fold it until this edge is lined up, make a crease, and then you're going to cut off the excess paper. So now, you should have a piece of square paper that has a diagonal fold in it. Now that we have a square piece of paper with a diagonal fold going this way, we're going to take this corner and fold the paper in half until it meets this corner. And then we make a crease. Then you open up the paper again, and we're going to fold it in half going this way this time. And then you make another crease. Now if you open up the paper, you should see an X and also a horizontal fold as well. Fold the paper in half on that horizontal fold. Then what we do is we lift up this first sheet and we're going to tuck this corner in all the way down in the middle just like that. So lift it up and you tuck this corner in like that, and then you make a crease. Do the same for the left side. So you should have something that looks just like this. Then what we're going to do is we're going to fold each of these flaps all the way up until the tip of the flap meets the top of this triangle. Do the same for the remaining 3 flaps. Flip it over. Now you should have something that looks just like this. You might recognize this from when we made the paper balloon. Now what we're going to do is something called a squash fold. What we do is we take these flaps and we open up the middle of it, which is sort of like a pocket. And if you open it up, you'll see that this corner wants to go down. And what you do is you push it down until this corner meets the bottom of this diamond. So you take the flap, open it up all the way, and then you push down until this corner meets here. And then what you do is you make 2 creases, one here and one here. So now you should have something that looks just like this. And you want to do that for the remaining 3 flaps. Now we're going to do something that's known as the petal fold, which you may remember from my crane tutorial when we were making the wings of the bird. What we need to do is we need to take each of these corners here and we're going to fold it so that this edge is on this line that you see here, this diagonal line. So we take it and we fold it until it's on that line. So you should have something that looks like that, and you want to do that for both sides. So we have 3 more to go. Now what we have to do is we have to unfold these corners which we just folded in. Alright, so these folds and creases which we just made were to make the petal fold a little bit easier. What you want to do now is you want to lift up this corner here and you want to kind of push it up and pull it until these corners start to tuck in towards the center. So you lift it up and you'll see that these corner pieces will start to tuck in towards the center. And what you want to do is you want to just flatten it out. So you just tuck them in and then you're just going to flatten the whole thing out. And you want to do that for the remaining 3. So let's go ahead and do that. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to fold these petal structures in half. So fold it down and do that for the remaining 3. Alright, so this next fold that I'm going to show you is not tricky, but you want to watch carefully as I do it to make sure you're doing it correctly. If these petals are kind of sticking out, what you do is just put your thumb at the bottom here to hold them down. Then you're going to open these 2 flaps on the right, and what we want to do is we want to take this vertical edge, this edge right here, and we're going to fold it backwards until it meets this middle line here that separates these 2 flaps. So we want to take this and we're going to fold it backwards just like that until it gets right into the center, and then we're going to just squish it down and flatten it. So you should have something that looks just like this. And then you want to do that for the remaining 3 flaps. So now you should have something that looks just like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the tips of these petals and we're kind of just going to let them swing outwards. So we're just going to swing it open, and as you'll see, a little hood is formed. What you want to do with that hood is you just want to squash it. So just push right down on it just like that. Then we're going to do it for the remaining 3. So open this, let it swing open, and then you just push down on that hood. Flip it over and do the same thing. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to take this little corner on the bottom here and you want to tuck it up inside of the rocket as far up as it will go. Just like that, and then you want to flatten it. And you want to do that for the other side also. So now you should have something that looks just like this. Okay, so if you take a look at the nearly completed rocket, you can see it's kind of flattened out so that these 2 legs are next to each other and these 2 legs are next to each other. What you want to do is you just want to open it up and you want to flatten it the other way so that these top 2 are next to each other and the bottom 2 are next to each other. And then you want to flatten it out and make a good crease that way. So now you should have a model that looks like this. Okay, so if you look at the model, you'll see what looks like 4 little kites on the bottom here. What you want to do is you want to take the corner of this kite shape and you want to fold it in half going this way. So you want to take it and you want to push down on it. When you do that, you'll see that this edge here is kind of dragged along with it. It's holding it back. So what you want to do is you want to fold it and you want to push straight down on that edge just like that and flatten everything out. And you want to do that for the remaining 3. Alright guys, we just have 2 folds left and they're really easy. All you have to do is just turn the rocket over and just open it up a little bit. And just like before when we tucked these corners in, we just want to tuck these in also. So just fold it down inside of the rocket and then do the same for the other side. And if you hold it like this, you'll see that you have now completed your paper rocket ship. Thanks a lot for watching my tutorial for how to make the paper rocket ship. I know it was tricky, so be sure to go back and re-watch some parts which might have given you trouble, just to make sure you're making the correct folds. If you haven't already seen my tutorial for how to make the paper crane, the balloon, and also the ninja star, you can check them out by going to my channel videos by clicking on my name to the right. And as always, be sure to comment, rate, and subscribe for notification of my future videos.